all join us for this insightful session today, organized by FICCI Cascade, Committee Against Smuggling and Counterfeiting Activities Destroying the Economy. Today's program will delve into the critical issues surrounding counterfeiting and smuggling and its impact on the society and economy. I extend a heartfelt welcome to our distinguished guest, Mr. Anil Shukla, the Director General of Police, Mizoram. Sir, we truly appreciate your presence amidst your busy schedule, and we look forward to your valuable insights you will be offering during our discussion. I also welcome Mr. Deepchand, former Special Commissioner of Police, Delhi, and advisor FICCI Cascade. Thank you for joining us today, and I would now request Mr. Deepchand to deliver the welcome address and guide us through the conversation with Mr. Shukla. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Kashifa, for starting the session. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my proud privilege to welcome Mr. Anil Shukla, IPS, the Director General of Police, Mizoram, on behalf of FICCI Cascade and my own behalf to our In Conversation program today. Mr. Anil Shukla is an accomplished IPS officer from the 1996 batch of the Agmut cadre. He holds a degree in civil engineering, a post-graduation in police management, and a master's in public policy and management. Mr. Shukla has been recognized with several prestigious awards, including the Police Medal for Distinguished Service in 2022 by the President of India and the Police Medal for Meritorious Service by the President of India in 2012, among other recognitions. Mr. Shukla's professional profile showcases a rich experience in counter-terror investigation, intelligence, Naga insurgency, crime management, district policing, and administration. He has represented India at various international forums and bilateral meetings abroad. During his 6 years long tenure at the National Investigation Agency, that is NIA, Mr. Shukla made significant contribution in the investigation of important cases, such as Pulwama terror attack case on CRPF, charge sheeting of important Hurriyat leaders in the terror funding case, investigating the LOC trade case, and unearthing a narco-armed terror funding and nexus, and solving the explosive case near Antilia in Mumbai. Antilia, by the way, is the residence of Ambani's. It was very recently very famous case. Ladies and gentlemen, illicit trade remains a significant challenge in our country, with counterfeit goods and smuggling activities posing serious threats to our economy and public welfare. As we strive to safeguard the integrity of our markets and protect consumers, the role of law enforcement, particularly the police, becomes paramount. Mizoram, being a state sharing international border with Myanmar, about 500 kilometers, and Bangladesh, around 350 kilometers, combating illegal trade requires a multifaceted approach encompassing robust enforcement, collaboration with stakeholders, and public awareness initiatives. The state police plays a central role in this endeavor, tasked with identifying and apprehending perpetrators, dismantling criminal networks, and ensuring the rule of law is upheld. FICCI Cascade has been steadfast in its commitment to fighting smuggling and counterfeiting, working hand in hand with law enforcement agencies to disrupt illicit trade networks. Through capacity building initiatives and advocacy efforts, we have endeavored to raise awareness about the adverse impact of illicit trade and strengthen enforcement mechanisms. However, it is crucial to acknowledge that the problem of illicit trade is evolving and increasing with every passing day. Criminal syndicates are becoming more sophisticated in their operations, exploiting loopholes in our system and leveraging technology to evade detection. Mr. Anil Shukla's vast experience and expertise in law enforcement will undoubtedly provide valuable perspectives on the strategies needed to tackle these challenges effectively. Today's interaction presents a valuable opportunity to engage in meaningful dialogue and explore innovative solutions to address the prevailing issues. We look forward to Mr. Anil Shukla's insights and recommendations, which will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and strengthen our collective efforts to combat illegal trade. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Anil Shukla and all our esteemed guests. Let us come together to confront the challenges posed by smuggling and counterfeiting and work towards a safer and more prosperous future for our nation. I would like to know from the DGP how serious you perceive is the problem of smuggling along India's land borders, particularly on the Indo-Myanmar as well as on the Indo-Bangladesh borders.
Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Deep Chand and Vicky Cascade for organizing this interaction and for having me here. It is an opportunity for me to be interacting with you and to share some of my thoughts. So, regarding your question about the smuggling and the
May I repeat the question now?
yeah,
The question is how serious you perceive is the problem of smuggling along India's land borders, particularly on the Indo-Myanmar border as well as on the Indo-Bangladesh borders.
sir, the Indo-Myanmar border is a very porous border which is unfenced and has a huge rugged terrain, which is very mountainous terrain as well as the riverine terrain. And as you are aware, India has a free movement regime with the Myanmar, and which allows movement of citizens of both the countries up to 14 kilometer inside their territory. So it is a porous border where there has been a movement across the international border uh, due to traditional and cultural exchanges. So in the light of that, it is very easy to also smuggle the goods across the border. More importantly, this border is not as heavily manned as the Indo-Bangladesh border or India-Pakistan border is. So the movement of the forces and the border guarding forces is quite restricted. So, with these issues in view, there are ample chances of smuggling, and the smuggling do take place in various forms and facets across the Indo Myanmar border. Regarding the Indo Bangladesh border, this border is manned by the BSF and it is a fenced border. So, the movement across the border is restricted, and the smuggling activities are almost negligible on that side of Indo Bangladesh border.
Could you elaborate a little on the strategies employed by the Mizoram police to address the issue of smuggling? And what are the predominant items being smuggled? And which specific areas have been identified as more vulnerable?
Sir, as I mentioned, the smuggling do take place, and the most important or worrisome aspect of smuggling is the movement of drugs. So, drugs both in the form of the high quality drugs of heroin, ganja, meth, and the precursors to those, like the pseudoephedrine and others, have been found to be moving across these borders. So, drugs have been a big challenge. To just quote some figures, so the drug trade is increasing almost on a yearly basis. In 2022, while we have confiscated around 74 crore worth of drugs, which increased to, because of the COVID, it fell down to 43 in 21-22. But again, in 23, we seized 190 crore worth rupees of drugs. And in the last 3 months itself, in the year 2025, we have seized almost 190 crore worth of drugs. And in Mizoram, most of it is moved to international places, including foreign shores. So this is a Mizoram is placed in the death triangle or the golden triangle as it is called, and the movement of this drugs and other contraband in this area is quite common. It is not only restricted to Mizoram, also in Manipur and in Nagaland. But due to the changing geopolitical situation in Myanmar, the drug situation in this part of country has worsened in the last few years. There is another aspect of contraband, which is the movement of areca nuts, supari. Areca nut is grown in this area, both in Mizoram as well as in the neighboring parts of Myanmar. And areca nut is mainly is not a contraband, but since it is not harmful, so it is not covered under any act like in drugs we have NDPS Act. But in contraband, it is basically a mere violation of customs. So we have been able to seize 44 crore rupees worth of Arakanut in the last few years, and we have registered 227 cases and have arrested more than 250 persons. But Arakanut remains a major challenge because this is grown on both part, and the oversupply of Arakanut in our area leads to demand and supply problems. These are the some of the issues, sir, which we are facing.
Good. What about arms and arms smuggling also across the border?
Sir, there have been some instances where we have found that arms have been smuggled across the international border of Myanmar. As you are aware, due to the current geopolitical situation in Myanmar and the resistance group and the fight between the military junta, some portion of Myanmar, especially which is bordering Mizoram, is in control of some of the rebel groups. So there have been some movements of arms and ammunition, but fortunately they are not in that numbers, which may cause a lot of alarm. But we are aware and alive of the situation just across our border because the Arakan army and the PDF and the Chin National Army are in conflict with the Myanmarese army. So we are aware of the challenges, but so far we have been able to catch some of these consignments, but they are under control.
Fine. Mr. Shukla, given that maintaining law and order, controlling crime and security, and preventing illegal infiltration are primary responsibilities of the Mizoram police, how does the force prioritize addressing smuggling, which falls under the jurisdiction of another agency such as customs?
So, sir, as I told you, smuggling of contraband, which is under the Customs Act, is a challenge because custom presence here, because there is no active border or the trade point here, unlike More in Manipur. We do have presence of customs, but it is far from desired number of custom officials. So there is a problem of storage of things like areca nut, which is huge in volume, as I've told you. Other than that, sir, we are also having problems of movement of foreign cigarettes, which are quite commonly smuggled inside Mizoram. So whenever we are able to catch hold of such informations, we detect these smuggling, and then we are in contact with the customs. But the problem is mainly about the storage facilities of these huge quantity of aracanut and all. One thing which I would like to highlight here, sir, is that we in the last couple of years have also focused on smuggling of wildlife, especially the exotic animals and the endangered species of animals. You are aware that this entire area is a biodiversity hotspot. Because of that, there have been movement of exotic birds and exotic species which are used in traditional medicine, especially Chinese medicine, and are also used as pets and are used for various purposes by different groups. But the margins of smuggling in these articles have also been found to be very rewarding for these smugglers. So I would like to apprise you that these rare, exotic, and endangered species, last year we have saved a large number of such hapless animals and birds. So 468 of such species were in one consignment we had rescued. This entire process continues along with law and order, as you have asked. So we have been able to prioritize the aspect of drugs as well as the smuggling of articles which are contraband in nature. This is a big challenge. However, we have identified number of trouble spots and vulnerable areas, and we have marshaled some of our resources, including informants as well as our sources, to provide us relevant information. Other than that, we have been able to have good collaboration with the border guarding forces, the excise and narcotics department here in Mizoram, which is a separate department, as well as the custom department. So, in the last couple of years, we have met with very significant successes in this regard.
Anil, it is quite heartening to know about the excellent work that your Mizoram police has people have been doing, saving the exotic birds and animals. I think this is a new developing trend very fast to smuggle such exotic animals for medicine or for pet or for like this wonderful uh, thing that Mizoram police has been doing. How would you assess the level of preparedness among the officers of the force, considering factors such as manpower and equipment for effectively carrying out their challenges responsibilities? Additionally, what measures do you believe are necessary to further enhance the force's capability?
Sir, Mizoram is a remote area, and we are having a problem of capacity building in this part of the country. And though Mizoram Police is a professional organization which has generally been manned by competent officers in the past, so a good framework has already been created here. However, we need to step up our capacities and our capabilities. Uh, the constant updation of knowledge as well as the awareness about the forensic abilities is an ongoing process, especially related to cybercrime in the couple of years. However, one good aspect is that there is a good community feeling within Mizoram. As you are aware, that Mizoram is a very well-knit society, and there is a system of village defense committees, the VDCs, which work in every village. Plus, there are uh, community groups and vigil groups which work along with the police. There is a organization called as the YMA, the Young Mizo Association. They have also been at the forefront of uh, having collaboration with police. So they also provide us some good input and information. Other than that, we have a system of surprise patrolling, nakas, and methods of surveillance and monitoring. As I've told you, we have good relations with the border guarding forces of Assam Rifle, which has a dual duty of border guarding as well as counter-insurgency. So Assam Rifle, along with the local police, have been able to unearth a large number of uh, contraband movement, especially of drugs and arms. Mizoram is again is a state where there is a prohibition enforced. Because of the prohibition, there is always an attempt to smuggle liquor, which is foreign made as well as from Assam. So we are in touch with the Assam police as well as we have strengthened our nakas along the interstate border for to curb the movement of liquor into our state as well. But there are challenges. We have identified a district called Champai, which is on the eastern side of India, easternmost district bordering Myanmar, which has a border for more than 300 kilometers with Myanmar. Because of that, uh, there are large, Champai has been traditionally a trading zone, so there have been traditional contacts with each other as well. So we this is an ongoing process, and these are challenges with which we have to live with. Other than that, there are challenges of shortage of manpower, as I told you. So the process of recruitment will take place shortly. The new government has formed, and I think we'll be in a good position in a year's and a half time.
Well, we have in Picky Cascade a program by which we conduct programs for the state police officers to create awareness about the smuggling and narcotics and how, what is its potential and what is the volume, how it is affecting the economy of the nation. And then we want to become the third largest economy in the world. Naturally, our police, which is generally meant for law and order and controlling the crime, and is being a very important aspect of enforcement because police is the primary enforcement agency. Anybody has any problem, he always thinks of first dial 100 and some help will certainly come. So the police is a primary agency for the enforcement. So if we have to become third largest economy, the police being enforcement agency has to take on its shoulders some responsibility to check this problem of counterfeiting and smuggling. And for that, we create awareness. We have awareness programs for the judicial officers, for the custom officers, as well as the state police officers. So at any time in future, if you think that
Sir, we'll be very glad if such program can be organized for us, and I can be in touch with Vicky in this regard. We are a small state, so if but a very beautiful state. So if some of your experts can come over here, they can find the undiscovered beauty of Mizoram. At the same time, they can train our officers. It would be difficult for us to send all these officers for training in Delhi or other place. So I would urge you, or through your offices, I can urge Fiki that in case some capacity building program, both in any aspect of training, if it can be organized for Mizoram police, that would be.
Uh, surely we'll do that. Kashifa, I think you are taking note of it, that we plan some program for the Mizoram State Police as well. Now, drawing upon your extensive experience, particularly your tenure with the NIA, focusing on national security and terrorist crimes, have you encountered any connections between smuggling activities and terrorism during your investigation? Not only in Mizoram, but your entire tenure in the NIA, which has been very, very distinguished.
So, so you are aware, sir, that smuggling of any contraband would require agents, manpower, and safe routes. These same individual and resources and routes can be used for movement of any. So if we have established routes for smuggling, these same routes can be used for movement of FICN. Similar routes can be used for movement of wildlife, as well as narcotics and arms and ammunition. So we have, during our investigation, found that similar routes have been used not only here but also in other parts of the country, especially in JNK, and these routes have been exploited by very unscrupulous elements for movement of valuable articles, including high value drugs, because they are very rewarding and they can be carried in a very small consignment or packet or in a small car or a vehicle. So the experience has shown that we have to be careful of the fact that any laxity in movement of even minor contraband can lead to a big problem, as we have seen in during the Mumbai blast, where the RDX was also brought into the shores. So, safe is to say that it is essential that the local police is alive to the situation, because it will not differentiate, the smugglers will not differentiate between the movement of any high valued contraband if given a chance. That is why we are working along with the different organs of the state, as well as the border guarding forces, including Assam Rifles and BSF in Mizoram and other places, to curb the movement of such contraband into the state and onto India mainland and even.
What proactive measures do you believe should be implemented to address this complex interplay between smuggling and terrorism?
So, as I've told you, sir, it is a complex subject, and it will not be prudent on my part to be prescriptive about it and give prescription about how to deal with it, because there are no ready-made clear-cut solutions to it. I think what we have to invest in is in intelligence. We have to invest in formation of sources and informers and network of individuals who are well aware of the terrain and who understand the local nuances, language, shelter places, as well as those individuals who have no scruples in supporting these anti-national elements. So it is a vast interplay of more than the police or security forces action. It involves society in general, the community, as well as certain individuals in particular. So I think we would be in a better place when we adopt a whole of government approach and whole of community approach, rather than any piecemeal approach of being it police or border guarding force responsibility.
These are really your wise words based on your experience, long experience in INIA especially, and otherwise with your long experience in the police department. Now, given the presence of multiple agencies such as Indian Army, BSF, Customs, ITBP, Assam Rifles, and SSB along the border, how is coordination effectively maintained among these agencies to optimize outcomes and ensure seamless operations?
So, sir, as I've told you that we have structured as well as informal systems of exchange of information. The monthly agency meetings do take place, and the information is shared by various organizations who are working in law enforcement, in border guarding, in checking the movement of these illegal activities. Other than that, sir, we have a very good system of informal meetings, both at the level of officers as well at the cutting edge level. So all the OCs or the SHOs of the police station are in touch with the in charges of the border outpost of these organizations. We at senior level ensure that there is no friction, as well as there is no difference in the agenda of these forces, and entire focus should be on the uh, the safety and security of the country at large and the state in particular. So it is an ongoing process, and at this point of time, I can say with satisfaction that the current system has given us rich dividend in the past, and we have been able to lay hands on very good amount of contraband which has either entered into Mizoram or into other parts of the country. At the same time, the information before the movement of these contraband into the country has helped us in nabbing a large number of smugglers as well as persons who are involved in illegal activities. So this is a synergy which is developed among all the forces which you have mentioned and the state police, and we are hopeful to continue this trend in future as well.
Coming again to the same question I asked you earlier, with Vicky Cascade's decade-long engagement in addressing smuggling and counterfeiting concerns, could you suggest potential avenues for regular interactions and coordination between Cascade and Mizoram Police to align efforts and achieve common objectives? As, as I mentioned
So, sir,
earlier also,
I must
please.
admit. I must admit my ignorance to the fact that Vicky Cascade has been into uh, on capacity building, and I was not aware of that since you had mentioned it. So it would be a good starting point for Mizoram Police and Vicky Cascade to have some kind of a joint working session as well as some training program for our officers. Other than that, it would be good that if we can be provided with some platform where me or even some of my officers can come and talk about certain things to a much larger audience, if that is a possibility. Other than that, sir, we are open to all kind of collaborations with institutions which are having similar goals of national security, as well as for upliftment of any part of our police or other organizations. So we'll be happy to collaborate, sir.
Mr. Shukla, really, I'm grateful for you taking out time because you have just now concluded elections, and I can understand the problem of law and order and managing election in Mizoram, which is on the international border, and a lot of sensitive issues occur during the election. I'm really grateful for you to taking out time for this our conversation program. But before we conclude, I'll ask you, what message would you like to convey to the public regarding the pivotal role of Mizoram police in border security, both in safeguarding the nation's physically and bolstering its economic stability? Just your last advice.
Sir, we are committed force, and we are a professional organization which will rise up to the occasion, whatever are the challenges thrown at us, and we are here to serve the society. And I am very, very sure that the the professionalism of Mizoram police is going to increase in days and times and years to come. And I'm also sure that this work which Mizoram police is contributing into society is giving us some dividends in terms of curbing the movement of drugs and saving some of our youth who actually fall prey to the menace of drugs. Towards the end, sir, I'd like to appreciate your kind invitation and to thank you in person in particular, and Fiki Cascade in general, for organizing this program, and happy to associate with you today as well as in future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anil Shukla. It was really a very good conversation, and for our audience, which are available, which are on the YouTube, they must have also learned a lot about the role Mizoram police is playing in curbing the counterfeiting and smuggling across the border, and also at the same time maintaining law and order in the Mizoram state. So I thank you, Mr. Anil Shukla, once again, and thank to the ladies and gentlemen who are on the attached with this program on the YouTube. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir, for an insightful discussion. Your perspective on the role of law enforcement in combating the illicit activities have really shed light on the challenges that we face. And it's clear that the tireless efforts of the police are vital in keeping our borders secure and our citizens safe. Mr. Shukla, your presence today has been really inspiring. Thank you once again. Your dedication to this cause has motivated us to push even harder in our fight to combat counterfeiting and smuggling. We'll certainly organize a capacity building program with the Mizoram police, and we commend for you on your work. Thank you for extending us this opportunity, sir, and we'll be happy to work very closely with you to address counterfeiting and smuggling. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Deepchand sir for his contribution, which has been instrumental in making today's discussion so impactful. Mr. Deepchand, your insights have added depth and significance to our dialogue on counterfeiting and smuggling. So thank you so much, sir. To all the audience who has joined us, thank you for your active contribution. It's been a great pleasure to have you join us today in the In Conversation series. As we wrap up, let's carry forward the momentum from today's discussion into our future initiatives, and we look forward to your continued support and participation in our engagement. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this important dialogue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kashifa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.